Hey guys, what's happening? This is Danny coming back at you. I think I have addressed my lighting issues. So one of my goals for this video is to, I'm trying something with some better lighting on this video. So hopefully this translates to a better video with better visibility. I am working on that, like I put in some of the comments on my videos. Today actually was my first day uploading onto YouTube, and I was able to get 5 videos on there, videos that I had been making for, I don't know, a week or two, as I had an idea, concept, whatever. I come in here to the vault and bang a video out. I'm proud to say that my daughter Sydney was my first subscriber. I texted her after I posted my first video while I was uploading my second one, and she was able to get in and subscribe. I appreciate that, Sydney. Thank you. What I wanted to do today was I've got some more cards in the mail for my 71 set, and I actually purchased some cards this past Saturday, so I wanted to do another update. I know I just posted my first one today. I don't know if I'll get this video posted tomorrow or the next day. But anyhow, I did pick up some more 71 tops, and I wanted to share some of that here, and one of my problems, and what I'm doing to correct it. So last week I updated my Excel spreadsheet. I mentioned in my last video that I had put together an Excel spreadsheet, and it was the only way that I was able to keep this stuff kind of straight. I couldn't memorize the cards I had. I couldn't tell which by name, I had, which I didn't. 752 cards, and I had, I was a little more than 100. I guess I was up to 120, something like that. And I made a really nice list, and I forgot it. And so Saturday morning I got up and actually went through my cards one at a time in this set, and actually wrote them all down on a small sheet of paper, because I had intentions of going up to the card show that was in Murfreesboro at the Ramada Inn, Highway 231. Again, if people are up here, live in Middle Tennessee, they know what I'm talking about. Went there 2 weeks ago and bought some cards from a guy, actually 2 guys, and then was going back. And what I did is I took my duplicates with me. I had 4 duplicates that I had purchased from the same guy. Same cards, same sleeves, and they already had his pricing marked on them and everything. And then I wound up having other duplicates from cards I picked up. So I think I took a total of 12 cards to the show. And while I was in there, I talked to the guys. He asked me, he said, "You got anything for me to look at?" And I was like, "Yeah, I got some cards I'd like to trade you back." And he looked at him. He's like, "How much you want for him?" And I told him. And he said, "Cool." He said, "Just let me know what you want." And so I went through his cards, and luckily I had my list with me. I had my list with me, and I was, I'd laid a bunch of cards out and going through his 71s, and I would compare it to my list. And then I had to make sure that I was a little more careful than I was last time. Actually, what I would do is I would make a stack of cards, compare it to my list, and then I would put those cards in order. And when I would put those cards in order, I would sometimes find doubles of cards that I was pulling out. And what happened was I pulled them out. For instance, if I take some out of my set here, like this Oscar Gamble, it says $1.50. Well, he was taking 70% off that, so that card would have been 45 cents. And so it was hard for me with that with that discount to do the math on a stack of cards, 15, 20 at a time. And so I would have to give him a stack of cards and say, "All right, where are we at?" And so then he would do the math, and I'd keep up with it too, best I could. But he was doing pretty good. And the thing was, he was rounding down for me. He wasn't rounding up, which helps you out when you're trying to make a deal. Anyhow, so I did that 3 or 4 times to try. My goal was to spend $20 with the guy, and I went through his cards 3 times, pulled stacks out, and wound up getting a pretty decent stack of cards. He discounted what he was giving me as credit for the cards I brought to trade in, and then he rounded it down to $15. I had just over $16 worth of cards. He said, I'll take 15 for them. And actually, I left that show having traded in 12 cards I didn't need, and I left with 36 cards that I did. So 36 cards for $15 I was pretty happy with. And I did lay my eyes on a couple other cards at the show. A Johnny Bench that was in there. It was a guy that had a Nolan Ryan, both from 71. But I didn't see many other ones. The theme of these shows here in Murfreesboro seemed to be people trying to unload 90s cards. There were boxes and boxes, and I'm talking about boxes like this of cards that people had in their collections, I suppose. You know, they were selling 3,000 cards for $5. You know, 5,000 cards for $10 or less. Just, it was unbelievable, the cards from a quantity standpoint that they were selling for very little money. And anyhow, so I was able to do that, and subsequently I have focused a little bit of my efforts on trying to get cards like 1 through 100 in the set, and you know, there's some cards in there that I'm having a little bit of trouble on getting, and I'm still working on that, but that was my focus. So I actually got on a website again, and I'm going to show you this website. It is Old Vintage Baseball Cards, and I believe the eBay store and the Amazon store is called Marty's Sports Cards. But when you look that up and you go to their actual site, it's called Old Vintage Baseball Cards. And on that site, you can actually get on certain years. You know, like for me, I'm looking up 1971 tops, and you'll get a list of their inventory. And you can go in numerical order of the cards that are available there. And they didn't have everything I wanted from 1 to 100, but I was able to pick up some cards, and I've got them right here. Just to plug them a little bit, I got 20 cards right here. Again, these were shipped to my door. I think it cost $3.50 this time, shipped to my door for right at $25. And in some instances, there were multiple, sorry I was a little off camera there were multiple options for each card. Some, they only had one. You know, and if they only had one and it was reasonable, I went ahead and got it. But sometimes you wind up with a near mint card versus where you might have been okay with an excellent to near mint. So a little bit lesser grade for lesser money, but if it's the only one that's available, then you go ahead and pick it up. So just a couple of names that I got that might be recognizable. I've not even gone through these yet. There's a guy right there, Lou Piniella. You know, 71 Royals. Let's see, going through here, there's another one, Phil Niekro. That was, I think, the most expensive one I got this time. I think I paid $3 for it. So that's a good card. It's in pretty good shape. These 71s are really difficult. You know, there's a Ron Klimkowski Yankees card. That is in great shape. That black border around it. I was getting at a second ago. The border around these cards is hard to get in really good shape, and I'm not trying to be stuck up about it or snobby about it. You know, if it's the only card they had and I'm looking for that, there's a Ken Singleton Mets card. I'm going ahead and picking them up, and these were all numbered, I believe, in the 100s. Like that's card 2, card 13, 15, 17, 30, and up to 38. Now the backer on that one is not very well centered. That Jim Colburn, you see it's justified more to the left than centered. But, you know, the front looks like it's in pretty good shape. So, you know, my goal, what I'm trying to work on right now is to break this stuff down to where I'm taking smaller bites. I'm focusing on certain number groups, you know, trying to say I've got all of 1 to 100, and then, you know, picking up, you know, some, you know, others in the low 130s, 140s, whatever. Now, when you go to a card show, you're at the mercy of what they have. And so, you know, I do think that there was a few pockets of cards for this one dealer that maybe I wasn't able to go through, at least with a fine-tooth comb. You know, I saw video of a guy named The Beholder. The other day I did a response video for him that when he goes to a card show he feels rushed. I had a guy standing right beside me going through 60s cards, and I was trying to hurry up and get out of that guy's way, and no more than I stepped out of the way, he's kind of eased over where I was looking to. Guys are looking, right? And this one character that his cards were older and they were more interesting than the stuff that the other folks were selling. So the funny thing is, I've got exactly 20 cards here, and I was looking at my supplies, and I got exactly 20 top loaders left. So that means that I'm about to have to make a top loader purchase. But with this count, I counted 162 the other morning after I put in the cards that I got from the card show. Along with this 20 right here, I have a what would that be? 182 cards. And in spite of my effort now, in spite of verifying cards on my list, in spite of sorting them at the table, I still walked out of there with a duplicate of Nate Colbert. And I almost guarantee that I did this at the very end when I was trying to push my way to 20 bucks with the guy. And I had the other guy standing close to me, and I hurried up and I didn't check my list as well as I should. But I already had this card, and I got another one. And so, I may, again, hang on to it for trade. I may take it back and use it for credit on my next purchase. The guy I work with is an older gentleman, and he's real easy to work with. I know he'll give me credit for this. What I spent with him, he'll, trade me out another card that might list at $2. It's 70% off. That card would be, 50 cents, 60 cents, whatever. So it's not a problem. But anyhow, this was just a quick, update. Looks like I'm at maybe 12 minutes on this video, so sorry for it being so long. I am trying to focus on this set. I am trying to systematically approach what I'm trying to do with it. Pretty happy with the pickups. And again, if you're trying to put together an older set, go check this site out. I think I'm averaging $1.50 per card. On some of them, I've bought them for as cheap as 60 cents, and so far as high as $3. Again, I'm trying to knock out commons. I'm getting them at card shows for cheaper than that, but in a lot of cases they're not as nice. And so it's kind of cool to be able to do both. But again, Marty Sports Cards, I believe, on eBay as well as Amazon, and Old Vintage Baseball Cards on the good old interweb. So if you got any comments, maybe you're trying to put together a set like this, maybe you've got a tip for me to go look here, there, and everywhere. I've been looking on Craigslist. I've been looking on Facebook Marketplace. I've been looking those places as well. Not done much on eBay. But the other thing about Old Vintage Baseball Cards that I like is that 5% of whatever you purchase for that transaction, you'll get as a discount on the next transaction. So it might only be $1 or $2 that you get back as a discount, but $1 or $2 get you a free card or two the next time you're purchasing, or it will cut your shipping costs in half and whatever. So anyhow, like, subscribe, give me a comment, let me know if I'm doing something right, doing something wrong. And again, I hope the lighting is better for this one, because I am trying to work on that. And I appreciate any feedback I can get. I hope you guys have a blessed night, and we'll catch you on the next one. Thanks.